Hello, Grumpy Old Fart here. I'm doing a series of videos on the Bill of Rights, and for those of you who don't know, the Bill of Rights is the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution. I did a couple of videos, parts 1 and 2, Know Your Rights, parts 1 and 2. Go back and watch those. The reason I'm doing these is made out perfectly clear in those. People don't know their rights, and they need to. So, I've done the first 3. Here goes the 4th Amendment. Ready? I'm going to read it verbatim, and then we can discuss it. The 4th Amendment. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue, but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Okay? That's kind of a mouthful, but every word of that is important, and I'm going to explain why. Our country depends on it. Okay? What we're going to do here is we're going to go this, bit by bit. The right of the people. There it is again. The right of the people. The government didn't give us that right. We already have it. It's ours. Because we're human beings. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects. Excuse me. If you're walking down the street, they by law they can't pull you over and search you or whatever without probable cause. They have stop and frisk in some places because of the high crime rates and what all, but if they're targeting, for example, if they're targeting black people and doing it, then that's a bad thing. If they're going to do that, they have to do it to everybody. Everybody has to be treated equally. If you're going to violate everybody's rights, violate everybody's rights. Okay. Now, houses. They can't come into your house and search without a warrant, and that warrant has to be specific. Okay. The bottom part of this says particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Okay. There have been cases where a search warrant was issued and the police go in and they find a ton of cocaine, bunch of hookers and whatever, illegal guns, whatever, and it all gets thrown out because the search warrant had the wrong address on it. Okay. It's got to be specific. That's a loophole, and there's a reason it's there. Because if it's not there, bad cops, and I'm not 99.9% of cops are good, but you always get those bad ones once in a while, and a bad cop can take a search warrant for next door from a year ago or whatever and finagle the date and whatever. Oh, look, I've got a search warrant. Let's go do your thing. Well, it's the wrong address. It doesn't matter. It's a search warrant. No, you can't do that. Papers. This sounds a little odd until you understand exactly what the British were doing at the time. Look up what's called the Stamp Act. What happened was, and this was a diabolical piece of legislation, the British were trying to raise currency, raise money, and they needed something else to tax. Because they were taxing every damn thing under the sun, they needed something else to tax. So what they did is they created a law that said that they could come into your house and search, and any scrap of paper that didn't have the king's seal on it, the king's stamp, was subject to taxing. So if you had a letter from your girlfriend or a letter from your mom or whatever, it didn't have the king's stamp on it, they could charge you for that. Sorry about that. Another phantom wind somewhere got the dogs to barking. Okay. Where was I? Okay, the Stamp Act. They could come in and anything that didn't have the king's seal on it was subject to taxation. And that was anything. A letter from your girlfriend, a letter from your mom, a letter you were writing, any piece of paper that didn't have the king's stamp. Boom. Okay. And your effects. Effects are anything you own. They're your personal possessions. It goes to personal ownership. Okay. I had a shed outside. If the cops want to search it, they have to have a warrant, and it has to name that shed specifically. Okay. So, unreasonable searches and seizures. Against unreasonable searches and seizures. Unreasonable searches and seizures are the crux of a lot of lawsuits. The former governor of Minnesota was going to fly up on a plane and commercially, and he was going through there, and they give the option nowadays with the TSA. They give you the option of the body scanner or the search, and he has a metal hip, so and it always sets off the scanner. So he chose the body search, and he endured what he described as a sexual assault. So he immediately left, went and got a lawyer, and filed a Fourth Amendment lawsuit against the TSA. According to this former governor, the judge, and the federal judge in that case, said she did not have the authority to rule in that matter. So if a federal judge can't rule in a Fourth Amendment case, who can? It makes you wonder exactly who's over the TSA and what can't they do. You see, you heard of horror stories at the airport. Oh, they're searching Granny. They stripped her naked right there. You know. Well, you know what? There's some people have too much power. Okay, and believe it or not, these people, these are the same people that, you know, before all this Homeland Security crap, and it is, you know, I'm a big fan of security, but they're going too far. They're eliminating our rights. Before the Homeland Security Act, the TSA, before it was formed, these people, you wouldn't trust them to carry your luggage, much less search it. Okay, so shall not be valid, no reasonable search and seizure shall not be valid, and no warrant shall issue, but upon probable cause. Now, here's the important one: probable cause. They have to have a reason to get this warrant. They can't say, "Well, that guy, I don't like the way he looks. I don't like the way he dresses. You know, that lady over there, she's got a limp. We need to search her." No, can't do that. You got to have probable cause. The Hillary Clinton presidential campaign paid a man named Steele, Steele. He's a former British intelligence operative, to invent a fake dossier so they could use it to go to a FISA judge. And if you don't know what a FISA judge is, look it up. To go to this FISA judge to get a warrant to eavesdrop on Donald Trump while he was running for president. That is the entire crux of the Mueller investigation and all this crap that our country has had to go through because of these idiot demon craps. Okay? Now, the Mueller report came out and said there was no Russian collusion or none of that stuff, so it should be over and done with. But it's not. They're still beating that dead horse. That horse is dead. It's nothing but bones, and they're still beating it. Okay? All because they faked probable cause. Okay? If the police come to your house and find 10 tons of cocaine and they take you to jail, and the warrant they have is based on fake or imagined probable cause, they didn't have the proper probable cause to get that search warrant, the entire case gets thrown out. It's a loophole in our judicial system. Okay? Right now, William Barr is investigating the investigators in the Mueller situation, and hopefully there's some people going to be going to jail because a lot of people committed a lot of felonies in that situation, and not one of them was Trump. So let's just keep that in mind. Supported by oath or affirmation, which they did illegally. That dossier, they supported it, they signed off on it, boom. And particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. They have to go after something specific. So I don't know what the law is now, but used to be if they pulled you over for a traffic violation, a speeding ticket or whatever, and they found a bunch of cocaine in your car, they couldn't act on it. Now I think now they can. I mean, I'm not advocating any of that, but I'm just saying the laws are specific about that for a reason. If they come to your house with a search warrant and the address is wrong, can't do it. You have to go back and get another search warrant. If they're searching your house and the warrant specifies just your house, and in the back shed you've got 10 tons of cocaine, guess what? They can't do it. It's got to be that particular house. Now, Again, I don't know the legalities of this specifically, so don't quote me on that. But, do some research, do your own research. But if that shed out back is not part of the search warrant, they can't do it. That's my understanding of it. The reason they did this was part of the Third Amendment when I said that they were coming to people's houses and forcing them to quarter soldiers and stuff. Well, the Stamp Act, that's what they were going for. And I touched on the Stamp Act here as well. They could come into your house without a warrant or anything. You just come into your house and search, and if they can find a piece of paper, boom. That's what this is all about. It's about personal property, privacy, private ownerships, and this is our rights. The right to the people to secure in their possessions. It's our rights. You got to know them, okay? Because people will violate them in a heartbeat if they know you don't know them. Our schools have to start teaching civics, and they got to start teaching it now. So, I think that's all I got for you. That pretty well covers it. And again, watch my videos, Know Your Rights, parts 1 and 2. And I've got a lot of other good videos out there. So, y'all have some fun. Okay, go have some fun today. Life ain't no good if you ain't having no fun. Okay. God bless one and all.